Hell, it's about time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Sinan from Sinbad Paints. Today we are tackling an absolute classic. A massive 72mm resin 3D printed Terran Marine from Starcraft. As you can see, I have already got him fully printed, cured and primed with a solid matte black. For a model this big, painting the base coat entirely with a brush can take forever and leave unwanted brush strokes. So we are using a shortcut, an egg-shaped makeup sponge. I'm taking the sponge, loading it with our main mid-tone blue, by stippling this over the armor panels, we get a fantastic, subtle texture that looks like painted heavy metal. Plus, leaving the black primer in the deepest recesses, we establish our shadow instantly. Once the base blue is down, I'm mixing a lighter blue. Using the exact same sponge technique, I'm focusing only on the highest points of the armor. The top of the shoulder pauldron, the chest plate, and the top of the helmet. This creates a really quick, volumetric highlight that makes the armor pop. A Terran Marine isn't complete without that iconic glow gold visor. To get the reflective glass look like, we are going to do a simple candy coat. First, I'm taking a bright, shiny silver and carefully painting the entire visor. Take your time here. You want a smooth, solid coat of silver. With the blue armor looking good, we need to break it up. Underneath all that CNC-powered combat suit plating is a complex network of servos, cables and joints. I'm using a dark gunmetal color to block in all the mechanical parts. I'm hitting the vents, the exhaust ports on the back, the knees and elbow joints and exposed wiring. Just getting this metallic color down instantly makes the model read as a heavy piece of machinery. Once the silver is 100% dry, it is time for the magic. I'm applying Tamiya clear yellow directly over the silver. Because the Tamiya paint is translucent, the silver reflects the light from underneath, giving us a beautiful, rich, metallic yellow glass effect that looks like highly realistic. I'm starting by basing the whole weapon in a matte black. To stop it from looking like a flat black blob, I'm taking a neutral gray and picking out the raised panels and the top curves of the weapons, chasing where the light would naturally hit. Back to the armor. The sponge technique gave us great volume and texture, but we need to define the shapes. It is time for everyone's favorite, or less favorite, step, edge highlighting. I have thinned down a very light icy blue so it flows smoothly off my detail brush. Using the side of the brush bristle whenever possible, I'm tracing the sharpest edges of the armor panels. This step takes a lot of time and patience, especially on a 72mm model with this mini armor plates. Don't rush it. This crisp line work is what separates a messy paint job from a clean, readable miniature. To give him a better character and military realism, I am applying a few water slide decals to the shoulder pauldron and the chest. I carefully cut the decal from the decal sheet and damp it into the water. Once the decal is loose, place it on the area where you want to apply it. I'm using Microset, which is the blue bottle, to make sure the decals become easy to slide to the position that I want them to be. And Microsol, the red bottle, make sure the decals adapt to the surfaces. We will get rid of the glossiness by applying matte varnish later on. This marine has been in Koprulu Sector for a while, facing down Zerglings, so Christian armor just won't cut it. Let's add some battle damages. I started by painting small, irregular chips along the edges of the armor, using our lightest highlight blue. This represents scratches in the clear coat. Next, I take the gunmetal and fill in the center of the larger light blue chips, leaving a thin rim of the light blue at the bottom. This creates a 3D illusion of the paint being completely scratched away to the bare metal. I added a tiny touch of dark brown to simulate oxidized rusty metal. Right now, the chipping and the edge highlights might look a little stark. To pull everything together, I heavily thinned down Citadel contrast blue. I washed this all over the blue armor plates. This acts like a filter, tinting the chips, smoothing the transition from our sponge work, and blending everything into one cohesive rich blue. Finally, to really make the edges of the gun catches the eye, I'm taking a light bone color on a dry brush. I'm very lightly dusting this over the sharpest edges of the weapon. Using a bone color instead of a pure white or gray, give the weapons a slightly dusty, worn-in look, which fits perfectly the Starcraft universe. Final step to ground this miniature in its environment is weathering pigments. These are basically finely ground dirt and rust. Using an older beat-up brush, I'm working dark brown and dusty orange pigment heavily into the boots, the lower legs and the base. I want it to look like he has been going through a heavy battle with Zergling in the Badlands of Marsara. As I work my way up to the model, to the knees and to the thighs, I use less and less pigments, just giving a light dusting. You want the heaviest dirt at the bottom where gravity and the mud would naturally collect.
Is coming with all its glory and all its horror. Mr. Findlay, your freedom awaits.
And with that, our 72mm Terran Marine is ready for deployment. I am incredibly happy with how it's turned out. The sponge technique saved a ton of time on a model this large, and taking the extra time on the battle damage and weathering really brought the greedy Starcraft aesthetic to life. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see more massive painting projects and tutorials, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the paint job and what model I should tackle next. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in the next video. Take care.